Hey everyone, it's Ariel, and today I'm going to be doing a haircut Q&A. So I'm going to answer a few of you guys' questions I asked on both here on YouTube and on Instagram. If you guys had any questions about haircutting or just hair in general. So I did get a few, not very many, but I got a few, and I'm going to answer those today in this video. And you guys may or may not know, I have been trying to grow out my hair for as long as I have lived. So my goal is not to cut off too much hair. I mainly just want to take off the really dead stuff all the way at the ends, just to clean it up and keep it healthy while I continue to grow it out. And then I also want to like recut some curtain bangs because I feel like these are just like getting kind of long and like lifeless. So that is the plan for today. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video, but we're just gonna get right into it. But if you guys are enjoying the video, make sure to hit the like button, comment down below, and also subscribe if you're not already. Now let's get to it. Normally I would wear a cape for this, but I think I'm just gonna forego the cape for this haircutting video. So I'm gonna quickly detangle my hair. I'm using this Tangle Teezer brush today. It's just the one that I had in hand. I haven't used this in forever, but I actually really like Tangle Teezers. They work really well. I feel like they're like kind of underrated, but this is where I have been parting my hair lately, so I'm gonna leave it here. And I'm just going to do my normal sections. I have a few videos on my channel already, like showing how I cut my own hair. So I'll make sure to link a playlist here somewhere. I have a playlist for like all of my haircutting tutorials. So make sure you check that out if you are interested in seeing like a more detailed, in-depth tutorial on how to actually cut your hair. Since today I'll mainly be focusing on answering questions. Alright, that should be good. So I have my two side sections and my one back section, and I'm going to start in the back as always. First section is going to be right around my earlobe. That's always where I like to start. So just starting with about this much, and I'm actually going to clip these up. I always do this. Literally do this every time. Like I just clip them straight down, but then they're like in the way for the rest of the haircut. I don't know why I do that every time. But yeah, these need to be up and actually out of the way. And before I start cutting, I also want to show you guys like how it's looking on the end. So I'm kind of thinking that I need to cut about that much off. So like all this stuff is really just, it doesn't need to be there anymore. It's not doing me any good. So yeah, I feel like that's about ½ an inch, maybe a bit more. But that's what I'm going to aim for. Also, this shirt is by T-Post. Shout out T-Post. This noodle bar shirt. So I'm going to start with that, and I will start answering questions. See how well I can do this while being somewhat distracted. Oh, you guys can't even see. Hold on. Gotta fix that. So good. So now I'm just gonna do that same thing on the other side, but it's seriously like, it's barely anything coming off, but it does make a difference. It makes a big difference. So I feel like this first question is perfect. It comes from my girl, Jose Nicole. She asks, how do you maintain length? And I feel like I'm a good example of this because even though I'm trying to grow my hair, I always make it a priority to do regular trims because it's so important to make sure you are continuously getting rid of split ends and just dead stuff that is like not doing you any good. It's just hanging on and potentially even like splitting up the rest of your hair and making it all unhealthy. So I think when you're trying to maintain length, it is important, even though it seems wrong, to do regular cuts. And like even if you're just cutting off ½ an inch or ¼ inch even, as long as you're keeping those ends healthy, that is going to help your hair overall stay healthier, and it will help you retain length. I'm just gonna pull down another section. This one's gonna be at the top of my ear. I feel like another good way to retain length is by maintaining the amount of moisture that's in your hair. So often if your hair is dry or brittle, especially at the ends, it can just start breaking off. So I definitely think it's important to make sure that you are doing really like conditioning things with your hair and making sure it's staying hydrated. So deep conditioning like once a week if your hair can handle that, or even like once every 2 weeks, just depending on like the state that your hair's in. But definitely deep conditioning is very important. It's really hard to talk while I'm cutting. I feel like I'm way too distracted. But yeah, deep conditioning, and also like oiling your hair, so like scalp massages, just adding oil into your ends to hydrate them. So just like really paying attention to how much moisture is in your hair and keeping it hydrated, especially if your hair is curly like mine, or if it's like been color treated or damaged in any way. Then it's extra important if you're trying to like grow your hair and still keep it healthy. So that's my advice on that. Hopefully that answers that question. And I'm gonna move on to another section. I feel like now the camera's too low, you guys. I'm so sorry, hold on. Okay, hopefully that's better. So taking down another section, this might be the last one I need to do. I do still have some layers in my hair, so often like the top layer of my hair is shorter than the rest, but I do still see some like straggly pieces here, so I am still gonna trim those. But yeah, just gonna do that last section in one. And then next question. Okay, next question is from Shirley. Thank you, Shirley, for the question. She says, I have not real good hair and it grows in a V. The front sides hardly grow, so I want it all same length, but don't want to go up to past my chin to match it all up. I like my long length, but would like to have all one length, but not to have it all shorter, if that makes sense. Any suggestions? So I do know what you're saying, and I feel like it's more common than you think. I think first of all, it's common because often like the hair around our face gets the most, like it takes the most beating because we're like styling those pieces extra, and like those are the ones that we're pulling up and like they're stretching back into ponytails the hardest, like, you know what I mean? So those pieces often I think take on the most damage just from like everyday styling. So it is common, like even I can relate to that. I feel like even my like front pieces often like they don't grow as fast as the rest of my hair does. So you're not alone on that. But what I would suggest is, since you do want one length, like, because I would suggest doing face framing layers, because that's like a really easy way to just blend it all, because then it's all staying healthy but you still actually have like a nice looking style and it looks intentional. But if you want to have it all one length, what I would suggest is every time you cut your hair or go and get your hair cut, ask that they don't cut as much from the front and like sides of your hair where it doesn't grow as much. Ask them not to cut as much off of those pieces as they do off of the back, so that every time you get a haircut, the back pieces are slowly kind of working their way up and the front pieces have a chance to kind of work their way down. Hopefully that makes sense. But that would be my suggestion for that. And like I said, you're definitely not the only one that has that. I feel like it's a lot more common than you would think. But it's definitely possible to get your hair to all one length if that is what you want. You just have to give it time and make sure you go and see someone that actually like knows what they're doing and like you can trust them with that. That's a big thing too. Hopefully that answers your question though. Okay, I'm gonna finish this side and then that will be it for the back. We'll move on to the sides. It's so funny, I feel like this side of my hair is always longer. Like there's always more hair to cut off. It's been like that forever. I think I might have made a mistake not wearing a cape because I am getting itchy. Getting real itchy. But we're this far, we're not gonna go back now. Okay, so this is the back. The back is all done. I should probably take one quick look at the very back since I am pulling all of my hair forward. This is my little hack that I always do. Comb it all backwards and straight out. And then you can see where you still need to trim. And oftentimes there is a little bit of a point in the middle because that hair has been over directed, so just needs to be trimmed right in that middle. All right. That should be good. I'll make sure to show you guys the back once I'm done, so don't worry, because people are always commenting still on my first haircut video like, I wish you would have shown the back, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, I didn't think of it. But I do have other videos where I do show the back, but every video moving forward I have made sure to show the back because it completely makes sense why people would want to see that. But anyway, now I'm just moving on to the sides, and again, there's just like not a lot of hair to come off. It's just like little straggly pieces, but we're definitely gonna make sure to trim those. So I always start on the side with less hair, because if you start on the side with more hair and cut off like a certain amount and then you get to the other side and that side doesn't even like have enough hair to cut off, then you're gonna end up with like a lopsided look. So it's always safer to start on the side with less hair. I learned that in a hair cutting class, actually. I'm gonna actually turn my head to the side for this and then just comb all of this hair straight down and trim off those stragglers. I don't know if you guys can even see that. It is like such a small amount of hair. But clearly that needs to come off. It's just like hanging on. Does not look good. And I am going to be doing more face framing because I'm going to be cutting my bangs too. So this is just a little bit of cutting for now, but I will come back to this area in a little bit. But okay, let's move on to another question. Next question is by April. Thank you, April, for the question. She said, hi, Ariel. I would love to know more about plaiting my hair, which is braiding, especially as I have short hair above shoulders. Any tips or techniques you can help with, please? Love watching your hair vids. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And so braiding, I feel like, to be honest with you, I'm not that good at braiding my hair, and like specifically French braiding. I'm not that good at it. I really am not. I don't even know if I'd be able to like do a single French braid. Like if I tried, I don't know if I could do it. It would be challenging. So to answer your question, I feel like what helps me is doing 2 braids, because then you can like see more what you're doing. Like if you split your hair down the middle all the way down and then like start on one side, I feel like you can like get a feel for it better, and you can like see what you're doing instead of having to like reach all the way back and down to the back of your head. That's what I find to be easier, and that's pretty much the only time I ever French braid my hair like that, because it is hard. So I would definitely recommend giving that a try, and hopefully that helps you. Just dropping everything right now. And then another thing I would suggest is, I actually saw this technique from a girl here on YouTube. I think her name is Cynthia. She did this like what did she call it? No elastic braiding, where she basically took some of her hair, and I haven't even tried this. Let me try right now, see if I can do this. I don't know if this is answering your question right now, but she basically like took a part of her hair and started doing a braid, and slowly the ends started forming a braid too. Oh, it's working. You guys see that? And then eventually she just kind of flips the braid through itself and has a braid without having to tie it. And I don't know if you could do this in like French braid form, but this is kind of a cool like little braiding hack. I feel like this is the first time I've tried this, you guys. Look at how easy that was. Oh my goodness, it actually works so good. Wow. So shout out to Cynthia. I'll put like a picture of her channel or something here so you guys can see. But I saw that video and I was like, wow, that's super smart. But anyway, yeah. I feel like there's always little hacks that you can do, but definitely recommend trying like 2 braids. I just know it helps me, so hopefully it helps you too. So I think that is it for the ends of my hair. They feel so much better. I'm gonna come up close so you guys can see. So much better. I love fresh ends. There's nothing like it. But we're not done now. I still have to do my bangs and clean up my face framing. So what I'm going to do is actually comb my bangs forward. Start with a little section. My hair is actually like really dirty right now. I should have filmed this video when I first straightened my hair, but I didn't. I really need a haircut and my hair is straight, so I wanted to still film it, but it is very dirty. It's like kind of stiff. Ignore that. But anyway, so I'm taking this section, so like 1/2 inch or maybe a bit more from each side of my bangs. I'm going to trim these together, and this is going to be my guide. This is what I do every time, you guys. Nothing new. So I think I want to take a bit more off of these. I think like maybe, where do I want these to fall? I think I'm maybe going to do them like at my chin, and that way like if I curl them, they'll end up somewhere like around my lip line. So I'm just going to pull this straight down, and I'm making sure that my line is like lined up with where my part was. So just straight down from there, and then cutting right around my chin is where I said I wanted them. Just a nice even cut. Let that go. Now that's going to be the guide. Now I can split them apart and I have a guide on each side. Guide on each side. And now I'm going to blend that guide in with the rest of the hair here. So just kind of gradually like cutting the rest of this hair. You can see that's the piece I just cut right there. And then I'm going to blend that all the way down until I get to the corner of my hair. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to bring up one more question. This next question is another one from Jose. She asked, how do you bounce back from heat damage? So, sorry you guys, I can't see what I'm doing. So this is another one where I would say conditioning is very important. So again, like weekly deep conditioning, if you can do that, if your hair can handle that. I know my hair can. My hair is mainly damaged from color though, not so much from heat, but I still do use heat on it a lot, so like it has been heat damaged. But conditioning is very important. So weekly deep conditioning. I personally deep condition my hair every single time I wash it. Like I pretty much replace that with regular conditioner because my hair just needs a lot of extra moisture. So I do a deep conditioner like once every 5 days or just whenever I wash my hair really, and that definitely helps to repair your hair from damage, especially if you can find a deep conditioner you like that has protein in it. That will definitely help because often when your hair is damaged it's lacking protein. So find a good deep conditioner that has protein in it. I think my favorite one right now is probably Olaplex number 8 or Shea Moisture Strengthen and Restore Mask. That is one of my all-time favorite hair masks. Works so good and it's so affordable. And aside from deep conditioning, I would say just be gentle with your hair and give it time. Like give it time to just do its thing and bounce back, and just be gentle with it. Like don't do anything too like don't manipulate it too much. Don't do any like crazy hairstyles, any really tight hairstyles. Try to minimize the amount of heat you continue to use on it. Make sure you are doing regular trims, very important to get rid of that damage. And most importantly, just give it time because it will bounce back. Your hair will come back and be revived from the damage. It just really takes time, and you just have to be careful and just take really good care of your hair. These front pieces of my hair have been really struggling since I did highlights recently, because they were already super light and then I did even more highlights and now they're just like screaming. Like hopefully you guys can see them, but yeah, it's kind of rough. They definitely needed this trim, that is for sure. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of freehanding just to like really refine this line. And if you're gonna try this at home, please be careful. I kind of wouldn't recommend this because this could turn into a disaster if you're not careful. I think I got it like pretty much blended how I want. Definitely looks better and feels better. And now I'm just gonna like pull it all up and just make sure everything's lining up this way as well. Okay, that feels a lot better. So moving on to the next question. I think this might be the last question. Yeah, so I just have one more question left. So this is the last one. This one is from Wendy. She says, I need help evening out the front layers, blending them into the back because I got a shelf cut in the front on my right side where I part. I've tried point cutting, but having blonde hair, you can see every cut and mark either way. So basically she needs help blending the front with the back, pretty much like what I'm doing right now. I think the most important thing to remember when you're doing this and to avoid like that shelf type look that she's talking about is try and visualize before you even start cutting. So like after you do the guide piece, try to visualize a line between that guide piece, so now the shortest piece at the very top, to the longest piece at the bottom where like the back of your hair starts, if that makes sense. Try to visualize a line between those 2 points, and then you're really just connecting them in a diagonal line. So just literally like this, and you're just connecting them like that. So you don't want to go like ever like straight across or like do any really like deep cuts, because that's where you're gonna get like the harsh lines. you want to just softly blend them and just connect those lines. So see how it's like a diagonal line from that bottom to the top? That is what you want. So hopefully that helps for next time at least. But if you do have like kind of a shelf cut situation, my suggestion would be to go through and pick up, I don't know why I said that so weird. Pick up any pieces that fall within that like messed up part and point into them. So point into them like this. I'm not doing it right now, but point into them. So open and close your scissors and just cut into them like that very carefully. And that will at least like soften the line so that when you put it back down, it doesn't look as harsh, and that will at least like help it blend a little bit better until it can grow out and you can like properly blend it next time. I would say that that's probably like the hardest part of cutting your own hair, is like blending your bang pieces and like the face framing, because it really, like, any little cut in the wrong area can make a big mistake and it can mess the whole thing up. So you really do have to be careful and like take your time, especially if it's your first time doing it. But hopefully that answers your question, Wendy. So here I have my shortest guide piece that I cut earlier, and now I need to blend. So I'm basically going to cut off all of this stuff. For now I'm just going to blend it up to here. All of that stuff just needs to get blended and cut off. You can also point cut like this as you're going, just to keep all of the lines nice and soft. Just be careful. I kind of just take more as I'm going down, but I'm just doing that same thing until I get all the way to that corner of my hair. You also always want to make sure not to cut off the corner of your hair, because you can end up with a big hole here. So always look for where kind of like the back of your hair starts. So right here, I don't want to cut that piece at all. That is like the beginning of the perimeter of my hair. So that is my stopping point. Alright, last thing I'm going to do on this side is just pull it all up like I did on the other side. Just make sure everything is blending. Alright you guys, so I did do a little bit of like point cutting and just refining the front pieces off camera, because I was kind of like taking forever and I wasn't talking because I was so focused. But I did finish the cut. So this is how it's looking. I did a trim on the ends of my hair and then trimmed my bangs, so I have a little bit more of like a curtain bangy look. So I'm excited to style those and like see how that turned out, because right now it's kind of hard to tell, but it feels so much better. It feels healthier and just feels good. So yeah, this is how it looks. Face framing is all cleaned up. And one more thing, as promised, this is how the back looks. So hopefully it's nice and straight, because I haven't even seen it yet, but I promised I would show you guys. So this is how the back looks, and that is it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful in some way, and hopefully I was able to answer your guys' questions. And thank you to those who did leave questions. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to like, comment down below, and also subscribe if you are not already. And also let me know if you guys want a live haircut video still, because that was one of the things I asked in a poll on my community page a few weeks ago. But the Q&A won, so that's why I did this one first. But let me know if you guys still want the live one, because I do like the idea of that. So if you guys want it, I can do it. I can do it next time. So definitely let me know on that. But that is it for the video. So yeah, you guys, this is how it looks close up too. It's crazy how big of a difference it makes. It feels so much better. Yay, fresh haircut. Feels so good. Alright you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.